I never understood what made the humans so dangerous until the day he laughed with blood in his mouth. They say we, the Varelen, are beautiful, green-skinned, long-lived, with the grace of the old trees and the speed of the forest wind. But beauty doesn't win wars. At least not the ones we've been fighting. When the Terran ships fell from the sky like wounded gods, we readied our blades and poison. We expected another conquest. Another empire puffed up on metal and arrogance, wanting our resources, our forests, our secrets. We weren't ready for him. His name was Callum Ward, though the others just called him the Red Beast, once they saw what he could do in battle. I met him in a tangle of vines and blood. Our forward outpost had gone silent. I volunteered to track the disturbance alone. No one expected survivors. I moved like shadow through the jungle until I found the clearing. Bodies everywhere. Human and Varelen alike. Torn, crushed, sliced. The carnage wasn't clean. At the center of it stood the human. He was shirtless, soaked in blood that wasn't all his. Muscles like coiled steel under skin smeared with red. A blade in one hand, broken but still sharp. His eyes met mine, not with fear, not with anger, but something wilder. Something hungry. And then he smiled. Not cruelly. Not like a conqueror. He smiled like someone who had just found a missing piece of himself in the middle of hell. I should have killed him. Almost did. But he didn't raise his blade. Instead he dropped it, staggering slightly. Blood ran down his chest in rivulets. My gaze fell to a wound near his ribs. Deep, lethal. No human should still be standing. You're not one of them, he said hoarsely. Neither are you, I replied. We collapsed at the same moment, side by side, backs to a burning tree. That was the first time we bled together. They tried to separate us at the infirmary. The elders didn't trust him. Nor did the others. A lone human pulled from a massacre, claiming he killed his own squad because they started butchering prisoners. But I knew. I had seen his eyes. Humans can lie, yes. But not like that. Not when the jungle's whisper wrapped around us and the trees themselves held witness. He was a warrior. But he was more. He was a bonded killer. A rare type among the humans. One whose instincts stitched themselves to another in battle. I had read of it. 1 in 10,000. Their loyalty becomes feral, sacred. Terrified me. Fascinated me more. We trained together in secret. I watched him fight. Not with discipline but with rage so precise it became its own elegance. He didn't move like a soldier. He lunged like a beast. Every motion was raw calculation. Every breath a challenge to the world to try him. And he smiled through it all. Not because he enjoyed pain. Because he felt alive. And then one night, after our sparring blades had cracked together for the 100th time, he caught my wrist and looked at me. Not with lust, not even with affection, but with recognition. Like I was another fragment of his soul long buried. You don't flinch, he whispered. Neither do you, I replied. We kissed hard and clumsy. Our blood from training still fresh on our arms. The forest shuddered around us like it knew something had shifted. The elders found out soon after. They tried to exile me. He didn't speak. He let them finish their sentences. And then he walked out with me in tow, never looking back. We became mercenaries. Ghosts in the war. We fought for the tribes that couldn't afford armies. We became legend, the green and the red. They said we were lovers. They said we were cursed. They said we drank the blood of our enemies in moonlight and danced naked in the ashes. They weren't far off. Every battle we fought, we grew more tuned. We could feel each other's pain like threads stitched through flesh and bone. I would scream when he was wounded. He would rage when I was touched. We weren't soulmates. We were sharpened pieces of each other. Until the siege of Corinth pass. It was supposed to be a simple mission. Free a prison caravan before it reached the human outpost. But they expected us. The jungle exploded with fire and noise. My people scattered. Callum fought like a fury beside me, carving a path of screams through the underbrush. And then the hunter stepped from the flames. It wasn't human. Not exactly. One of their black-budget projects. Augmented. Taller than Callum even. Wrapped in matte armor like midnight bone. Its face was blank, just a slit of red light for eyes.